Recording in progress. Wow. Okay, guys.
Huh?
This meeting is being recorded. So
Everything you say can and will be held against
will
you.
be a hell will be. We will revisit our Nutella conversation in a few. We're doing trifecta a little bit differently this week, just to see. First of all, evening schedules are a little bit crazy for all three of us.
Mhm.
And we just wanted to try this new format, kind of because we did a podcast last week that went really nicely. And the woman at the end said, the host said, you guys should start a podcast. So
Mhm.
this is
Yes.
our like very tentative steps into that direction, perhaps.
And I think we could still do lives, like, because we still need to, but it could be, but this way, I liked what y'all said about it. People know it, what time it will come out every week, and there's
And
no
so what
question.
time is that? So what time, because we can schedule it, so it'll be on the dot.
8 for Eastern time, Kate, Adrian and I. Well, Adrian, you're not Eastern right now, but I'm Eastern and I'm going to be 8 o'clock. I'm going to drop at 8 o'clock on my page. And then, are you going to drop the subscriber piece at the same time?
I
Yeah.
don't think we figured that part out yet.
Well,
Yeah.
details to come.
And
So
then so
work in
7
progress.
p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to say a bold statement. So you're going to get a trifecta every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll just appear. And I think we can try that premiere thing, Carrie. We'll talk about that after.
Oh, yeah.
And the trifecta is going to be on all three pages or just one each week?
I think we could do all three.
Yeah. Until
I
the,
think,
yeah.
and our
Okay.
Autism Out Loud page. A lot of people don't know that we have this combined page together,
Mm-hmm.
that we share book stuff. We just sort of share different kinds of content over there, updates and promos and things like that. So
Where we're
Autism
going to
Out
be,
Loud on
where
Facebook.
is Carmen San Diego? Where we're going to be?
What's that?
Do you guys remember that show, Where in the World is Carmen San Diego?
I
No.
never watched it, but I've heard of it.
It was like my favorite show, but I always think of Adrian. Where is Adrian?
Where is it?
Where in space and time is she?
Well, that's a great
Adrian.
segue.
Adrian is in the Opera ski room today.
Oh,
See?
nice.
It's supposed to be open at 4,
We
but
rest our case.
yeah, Adrian is here.
That looks
A-
beautiful.
Adrian is having a good time. This is kind of exciting.
What?
I mean, when I say exciting, I mean like you all better hold your horses.
Oh, I'm
So,
sweating.
and you're
Okay.
gonna like this because Kate, you're always like, "Who is Adrian with?" I never
We can
know, right?
edit. We can still
If it's a
edit.
Michelle Obama, you better have told her about her book.
It's not Michelle
Really?
Obama, but very, very close.
Oh, Martha Stewart.
A Supreme Court justice bought our book yesterday.
What? Who?
I'm not going to say it on the big video, but it happened. I saw the text.
Wait, how did this? But can you explain the buildup?
Backstory.
That part.
So, yeah, we're here with a bunch of families, and a Supreme Court justice is one of Russell's friend's mother's sister-in-law,
Okay.
Okay.
and there's autism in their family.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Adrian. So what's really interesting about Adrian is the
I can't
people
wait
that
to hear this.
she hangs out with is different than the people that I hang out with.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, I have lovely people in my life, but it's just different.
Yes. It's a different
They
crowd.
say this in a way that I do not think they're laughing at me. I know they are.
No, I'm riding your coattails.
We are absolutely
Yes, I'm
behind
holding
you,
on.
getting swept up. Well, let's just take a minute then, Adrian. You told us where you are. Tell us who you are. Introduce yourself for people.
I'm
Not
Adrian Wood. I have Tales of an Educated Debutante. I'm from rural North Carolina, rural, as Kate says, and have 4 children. Our youngest has autism and a genetic disorder. And Kate and Carrie and I have now been friends for I don't even know how many years.
17
million.
years.
1,020.
We have a book coming out in 21 days, Autism Out Loud, and we are I'm really excited about it. This might be the best part of the book for me so far.
So I was trying to explain to Adrian,
I'm
but
the only one that has not written a book, so this
Yeah.
is all new.
I was trying to explain to her, but Adrian, tell them when I explained it how you answered me. Publishing a book is just like planning a wedding. So in the beginning, you're getting all the things, the photographer, the publisher, you're getting all these big things. And then there's a lull where you feel like you're kind of sort of failing because like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Right.
And then the last 30 days is go time. And what did you say to me, Adrian?
can't remember.
You said, I didn't plan my wedding. My mom did.
Oh, yeah, I did say that.
And I was like, oh, okay.
I said, I didn't plan my wedding at all. I didn't even want a big wedding. My mom and my husband did. I mean, I remember going to look at, they were like, I said something about, yeah, my mom's picking out the cake. And Thomas was like, what kind of cake is it? I was like, I don't know. Like, what do you care? He made me stop at the place and I refused to get out of the car and give an opinion on the cake. I was like, that is the dumbest mess I've ever heard in my life.
Oh,
And
funny.
how many people did you have?
A lot,
Yeah. a big
like
one.
500. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Kate, how big was your wedding?
It kind of sort of similar. So we had, I mean, for us, we had maybe 250, which is very big for here, not being well connected either, very big. But I would say my family and Jamie's family wanted a bigger wedding because they wanted to invite everyone. You know, you feel like they want to invite everyone they've ever met. And I wanted a smaller wedding. And so I lost. Yeah.
My wedding was the second wedding I'd ever been to in my life.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Funny, but Joe's the youngest of 6. He had been the ring bearer, I think 8 times by the time we got married.
Oh,
Because all of his siblings got married. But yes, big Italian. But ours was 150. So
And how many people of those were Joe's family?
I mean, it was like 8 of mine. My grandfather limped in, my cousins, and then I mean, it was primarily all Joe's. It was a
Well,
lot.
I have very few regrets in my life. True story, I do. I regret the college I went to. That's one. Another one is I wish that I would have been more vocal about what I wanted for my wedding. I
Yeah.
do. That sounds really weird, but we didn't have a lot of money and there wasn't a lot of money being given towards us. So it just put us
Yeah.
in kind of a tough spot and it wasn't at all what I wanted. And
I completely agree. I always tell people now weddings are so personalized. We went to one a few years ago for somebody that Joe works with, and it was the most personal, like they cut down a tree to make coasters with their initials on it. And the girl took a coaster.
well, that's
I mean,
custom.
that's a podcast episode in
That
itself.
it was so personal. They had a peanut butter and jelly cake that Jack almost knocked to the ground. I'll never forget. I was sweating the whole time, but it was beautiful. I got married in the equivalent of a Costco, like a huge empty banquet hall. They were like, you can have pink napkins or peach napkins.
That's similar to me, Carrie.
And cake tasting, they were like, you can have chocolate or vanilla. That's it. Like the place did the cake.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
good.
got married at this place called the Lakeview Castle up on the North Shore. And it was like all we could afford. Sorry, I'm moving because it was so sunny there. It was all we could afford. And, there's one thing that I wanted white chair covers. I know that sounds so weird. I had these pictures from Pinterest. I wanted white chair covers. And they told us it was $5 a chair and we could not afford it. And I remember I'm not very sentimental about things, but I cried. It was like the one thing I wanted.
What year did you get married? Because we'll be married 27 years this August. So
I
back
don't
then
know
there was
that
like
answer, but we've been married 17 years.
I'm 2002. We're 23 years this year.
So Kate, you must have been on the cusp when all these like things became available. Like, what do I want it to look like? And
You know what I was really in the middle of? The serious craze was when I was pregnant with Cooper was the nurseries. Like the over the top nurseries that had just came out and that we had this tiny, I'm telling you, the house that we had, our first house cost $80,000. It was so cute and small and we could not afford, I mean, I couldn't afford bedding. We worked just little jobs. I was a project coordinator for a nursing home. Jamie worked as a banker and we could not. And I remember like being on these message boards and these Facebook groups with these nursery reveals and just being like, we suck. Like,
We used a credit card to buy a glider.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was committed. Like, I want a chair to nurse this baby, and it was like $1,100. We had never paid anything like,
Yes.
for furniture. And I had the hardest time getting rid of that thing like 2 years ago.
oh, really? You were attached to it?
Well, I like counted one time with 4 children, like I spent probably 1,500 hours in that chair.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was, and probably less as you had more kids and you were all over the place. But yeah, I mean, I really logged a lot of time in that chair.
So we just took down the crib. I mean, it's been a year, right? And this crib had 4 babies in it. It has
Mm.
bite marks. The underneath, it's been moved so many times. Like the board is like half broke. So grandchildren will not be using it.
Right. It's not
I
safe.
could not get rid of it. And Jamie like wants to burn everything. Burn it. And he put it in our shed because I was so sad. So it'll never be used again, but I can relate to what you're saying. It was like the end of an era.
We had 2 cribs at one time, so we never had a kid that went like
We used to have two too. I kept people in cribs though till they could like run. Anyway.
I just had to do, my oldest son is 22, about to be 22, and we redid his room. And that was it's like he's not coming back here. And I think I told you guys, I texted him and was like, is there anything in here you want? And he's like, nothing. He's not sentimental at all. It was the same paint because it started as Henry's nursery. It was the same baby
Oh,
blue paint. And I mean, literally a week ago, and I stood in it. And now I have kind of grown up furniture. You know, he'll still need to come back here and sleep, but um, it is a moment. And
Oh,
is
I,
it like you use it as a guest room now?
yeah, that's kind of the idea, you
Or you
know. And
could?
then my daughter's leaving in 5 months.
mhm.
And I don't know about how you guys are. We didn't buy nice furniture for our kids. Like we don't buy legacy furniture, like you said, grandkids. Her furniture is so junky. I
So
really
sad.
want her to come back from college to like a really young adult space. But I
Mhm.
don't, and also I have a really hard time when my kids leave. I've been open about that. Like Charlie, Charlie and I talk every day for a
Mhm.
Right.
half hour, 45 minutes. Like he called me last night and he said, "Mom, I'm coming home in a couple weeks. My first year of college is done." And I was like,
That is insane to me. He just left.
April 22nd is the last day around here.
"Yes."
I have goosebumps.
His is the following week because he has one last baseball game. I'm not used to him being gone. Like I still every day say, "I miss Charlie. I miss Charlie." It'll be the same way with Rose. But the point being, like, doing their rooms over is a little bit of a distraction for me.
Yeah.
I did Blair's room this fall. Now, Blair's in the ninth grade, and my kids are off at school. So I have just one at home and two away in high school, one in college. But I did that, Carrie. I ordered a new rug, got her a new bed off Facebook Marketplace, like an iron bed and new bedding, and painted. And like, it's nice. She comes home, she really likes it. You know, like I said, what color scheme do you want? And I kind of did it for the most part. But that was fun. And now that you say that, I think it really was kind of a distraction.
Yeah, it eases it, but my Charlie and my oldest Joseph tell me everything, every thought in their brain, every emotion they have. My daughter's private, so I keep saying like, I'm not rushing you out. It's not like oh good, I get her out and I'll just like wallpaper over everything. Like I want her to understand where I'm coming.
Or maybe let her even be part of it. I mean, she might enjoy it.
Yeah, I asked her about colors and I don't care. I don't care.
Oh, she might be
You
like,
two said something that I think about all the time. When your kids first left, so when Charlie left, and I remember one of you said, the whole upstairs is dark now. That like blew my mind because my house, I'm still in the thick of it, right? I'm telling you, Winnie wakes up talking and doesn't stop until she goes
Yeah.
to bed. When I think about it being quiet, of course I long for it at times, but I can't picture it. Did you guys ever feel that way?
I never ever imagined what it would be like for them to
I
leave.
never even thought about it.
No.
Well, I'm thinking about it because you guys are living it. Like I didn't have
Oh,
friends. All my friends that were here are in the same space as me. I granted Winnie's a little young in my friend group, but there's fours and fives, so I'm not that young. They're not that young. But like watching, I can't imagine Sawyer leaving, Carrie. I
hmm.
am telling you, I cannot picture it.
It's like losing a limb. And I know I'm probably dramatic. And we talked before we started to record about feeling alone in certain aspects of motherhood, about Nutella being smeared all over the walls because our kids can't seem to handle that confection for some reason.
It's
I feel
It's rough.
very alone in how hard of a time I'm having and letting them go. Because a lot of my friends are already empty nesters and are really reveling in it, the travel and the time alone. And I still have 2 kids here who I greatly enjoy. But
mhm.
my youngest put it really well. He said 4 years ago, we all lived here.
Which isn't
Seven.
Uh,
that long ago.
No.
yeah, no.
Having
No.
them close together was
100%.
wonderful in so many ways, but now is my challenge because they all just leave.
Do you know one of I remember how things stick in our head because things that we remember. But I remember years ago talking to a mom who she had one set of twins and
Hmm.
she was sobbing. I don't know where I was, but she's like, it's all ending at the same time. She's like, we're doing every milestone and then they're gone. I don't have anyone to
No
soften the
practice
blow.
session.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuck with me.
Yeah.
It's
My
just
friend Mary Scott like really wanted a third because she was like, I mean, I just can't do that'll be too hard, basically
What do you mean?
to
two
lose
at
two
once.
people at the same time.
Okay, she has twins.
Yeah, she has twins and then, a younger one.
It's the really little things. Like I don't ever have to go to car. I don't have to pick anybody up from practice. I have two drivers now. I don't, I rarely go to the school. I used to spend so much time at the school and like walking down those hallways and all of that. So,
So, in Minnesota, another holiday that we have is the high school boys hockey tournament. It's like, I'm telling you, it is
Mm.
like bigger than Christmas in Minnesota. And it just happened this last weekend. So our whole family was around the TV watching. And I'm telling
Oh,
you, these boys, they all look like Sawyer with their hockey hair. And they're just, there's 150,000 people that come watch this. It's unbelievable. And it's at the Excel Energy Center. And I had this thought like, so Sawyer is 12, and I'm not being dramatic, but I sort of am. He only has a few more years left of sports,
Yeah.
and it's such a vital part of our life. Like, what what are we gonna do when it's over? I know it sounds so silly, but we have Cooper, and
No.
that these sports ground us. Like, they just keep us. I don't know. It scares me a little
Oh,
bit.
exactly. Our varsity
it's true.
basketball team is very good, and they had like, a huge game on Friday night, and I really wanted to go. I don't have anybody, but what I love is we're in a small town. I know a lot of the kids,
Yes.
go to the gym. I love to chat with them like that. And then I go to the gym, I go at the middle of the day and it's like a 24-hour place. So I work out with 80-year-olds, 80-year-old men. I love them all. We have a great rapport. I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I'm the only person besides his wife that knows.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
He said, I can't tell my kids. And I thought, they're going to know pretty soon, Bob, because
Bob,
you told me a couple of times.
secrets out. I think too, though, when you, we all have, I was telling this group of people, we're in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and with 4 other families, and they're asking a lot of questions about the book and Amos and all these things. And I was telling them about each of y'all, and Carrie, like 2 of the moms were like, I want to connect some friends with her who have these 20-year-olds who,
Mm.
one is at Drexel in an autism program.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so interesting.
Don't you have a son at Drexel?
Yeah, my son's he's not in the autism program, but I have a
No,
son.
and I knew that, but I didn't know Drexel had an autism program.
I actually didn't know that either because he's in finance and I'm pretty.
Well, this child is at Drexel, but anyway,
Oh,
just
you mean
talking
not
about,
studying autism? You mean like
no, like in for people with autism.
I did know that because it came up where I was like, hey, Jack could go right along with you. My
Oh,
oldest was like, Mom, I spent
that
my
did
whole
not go well.
No, I can't imagine that going well.
I mean, he adores him, but I remember Jack was referred out of district, and then we talked a little bit about bringing him back into the mainstream high school, which our high school is pretty big. And my oldest son, Joseph, said, Mom, I'm so stressed out watching all the other kids who are in the special ed classrooms. Kind of like, they gain that antenna of like, all right, what is that person sitting alone? And Charlie did
Uh-huh.
the thing. He's like, I don't think
Mhm.
I can take Jack on too. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But I will say, having Amos last, and my big 3 have flown the nest early, and I went away to school. My husband went away to school, so like for us, it's like college. It just
Yeah.
is what we know. But having Amos last, I think makes some of those feelings you're having, I don't have as much because I have this person at home
Yes.
still, and
Yes.
he takes up so much time. Where if he were the oldest, it would be different, I think.
I agree. I completely agree.
Yes,
It's
because Adrian, so I'm the opposite, right? And so
yeah,
Winnie is only 3, so we have a lot of years with her. But
right.
I'm telling you, there's times this surprises people, but where it'll feel like almost like Cooper's a ghost in the house. I can hear him, but he moves through. Our home is completely safe, so he moves through. And there could be hours where he could be in his cubby in the basement, and I won't
Mhm.
see him. Um, I, I've been quoted saying autism can be lonely in my world. It can
Right.
be very
Right.
lonely. And so
And,
I can't imagine like a quiet car. Like,
and I do feel like we're at the lonely, there are parts of like the sports and not being connected to the community and trying to figure out how do you stay connected when you don't have teenagers at home, anymore. I saw this one mom and she has one and three in college, and it's Carrie, kind of like yours, but it's one and then a set of twins like a year later. And I saw her at the vet, and she has this dog, and she said, and these people like coached, they both of them coached sports teams, like they were at the ball field. I mean, with all three children, I mean, it was more than anybody I've ever seen. And now there's no one. And she was like, this dog is keeping me sane.
I've
yeah,
heard that.
yes, I get it.
I mean, she was like, I have to have something to do in the afternoons. It's the dog. And I was
That
like, well,
makes
good for you for like recognizing it,
Yeah.
you know?
It does make me grateful because I really was a stay-at-home mom after my youngest was born, that I held on to the writing and sort of
Mm.
have this be able to blossom and grow into the space that the kids leaving has left me with. It's funny because our dog is 11 and such a goofball. He could live to like 15 or 20 because he's little. But I said to Joe, do you think we'd get another? And Joe's really not into getting another dog. But you guys have dog, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
Well,
hard.
it's just, I'll just say it's so hard when they die. I mean, when our last dog, I mean, it just we had two die close together because they were labs, and it took us a long time. I mean, because you look at this little goofy little puppy and then it's like I only get so many years with you. So I mean, I think dogs it's hard.
It's very
It,
hard. Our dog dominates our family group chat, among other things, as you guys got to see yesterday.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. The family group
Oh,
chat.
not to pivot, but Carrie, so I was driving home. I had three of the kids driving home from the cabin yesterday. Cooper has to be with me. It's a problem we have to figure out because him and Harbor are oil and water. And so I had the three kids. Jamie had the muddy dog and Sawyer. He got the better end of the deal.
Yeah.
Um,
Jamie drew the best straw.
Always, and even that he has to have his vehicle detailed, he still drew the better straw.
Yeah.
But I had two toddlers, they're not toddlers, I know, but two little ones fell asleep. So then we had to go to McDonald's later. Anyhow, I was in the McDonald's drive-through and I turned on Facebook and listened to Jack
Oh,
on
I missed it.
Okay, so I was listening. He was coming through my radio.
Oh,
Oh yeah. He is the most serious. Like I'm telling you, just as an objective person, he takes everything you say 3 seconds as an assault, and then he'll answer.
that's exactly it.
It doesn't matter what, like I'm telling you, you were like asking me about the shifts that he takes, and dad says you can work this many shifts, and the restaurant, everything is an immediate assault, but then he calms down. Do you feel that?
That is the perfect way to
Yep.
capture him. Perfect. I
And
try
is it you, Carrie, or you and Joe? Mainly you?
to everybody. It would be
Like she was like,
Oh.
so you work like 2 shifts a week, and he was like, I mean, mad, and then an answer.
What did he say? What was his response?
It's usually like, no, well, I guess two. Something like it's always.
he has to
Is that right,
contradict.
Carrie?
It's 1000%. If anybody's interested, it's over on my subscriber page.
Oh, I'm going to watch it right
It's
now.
wonderful.
I'm so used to him, but
Yeah,
I try
right.
to capture him for people and all the time that he's downstairs now. I really understand what you mean about moving around the house like a ghost because he's home for spring break, which is great. He's sort of taken over the basement, a finished basement, and he might pop up every now and again to change the water filter in the refrigerator, or he cleaned all of our shower heads. He said they were disgusting. Like he's a doer.
Mm.
But how does he pick the shower heads?
I don't know. He probably saw a video. Or we have an upstairs bathroom that I had to change out the shower curtain. So he was very serious in getting all that set up. Like I can say to him,
I would have him like cleaning grout. I mean, I could flat keep him busy for a year.
you would just, I have to remind myself, like, I don't want to always be like, go bag up all the left,
Right.
all the clothes we're going to donate. Like it doesn't feel nice, but he
Mm.
likes it.
He likes it.
Mhm.
So he's very much like a ghost. Like at night, this is so bad because he doesn't live here anymore. So last night he popped up and I was like, oh, I forgot you were home. But yes, Kate, that is probably the best description I've ever heard from somebody who doesn't know Jack. It is a
Mhm.
30-second, like contradiction,
Yes.
fight or flight. He's in that fight or flight for 30 seconds. Then he absorbs your information. Then he's like, yeah, I do work 2 shifts.
But what was so interesting is I thought maybe it was just like he's proud of his job and defensive about that. But it didn't matter what you said.
What's
Yeah,
your
Carrie,
favorite?
is there anything you could say that he wouldn't do that to? Like, I would be spending time, like, what could I say?
Like even if you complimented him, I bet because you were complimenting him, you were
I
very
like your
complimentary.
shirt.
Yes.
I like your shirt. Well, I don't always wear this shirt.
Yes.
I'm wearing it today.
I was dying laughing in the McDonald's drive-through line out loud.
It could be anything. Like Rose is taking him today for a haircut. And there's a lot of conversation about what time to leave because we are getting, brace yourself, viewers, a Raising Cane chicken place.
That's our favorite place.
Oh, I've heard about this place. My children have been
It's the best sauce
in
ever.
DC.
Yeah, best sauce ever.
Best sauce
We're
ever,
getting
ever,
one.
ever, ever,
We
ever.
do not live where Kate lives, so we don't have 1,000 choices. We do have a Chick-fil-A, but anyway, there's
This
been
is better.
lots of talk. So they've planned out their route on what time they're all going to leave, and it's kind of like, well, who's going to pay? Well, I can't pay. You know, everything is like this gentle, not gentle, this like overt pushback. But I'm so used to it. Like I don't know.
You know what, where my mind went was like, because I don't know that end of the spectrum well. I know
Me
what I
neither.
know,
Like, it
right?
seems, I'm so like intrigued with it.
But I could see how that could be very hard to make a new friend,
Oh,
to have to date someone, because it always felt like you're being assaulted verbally. And so I think that would take a very special kind of person to be willing to do that.
Or someone just like him, because in his community, they're sort of
Yes.
you know, we've spent time there. Charlie has spent time there, and they have very similar temperaments. And it's something I don't know how to change about
I
him.
don't think you can. I've never, I mean, you gotta
It's a
watch it, everyone.
fascinating, it wears more on Joe than it wears on me. I mean, it can wear on you
You
because,
handled it perfectly. And I didn't know if that was for the video, but like
oh,
you just like kept going.
I'm so used to him that that's just how we roll throughout the day. Like he went to the gym with me yesterday. And, you know, I'm introducing him to my 80-year-old friends who most likely will forget tomorrow that they already met him. But it's very like, but I don't know him. I don't know who that is. Or, you know, like I'm used to massaging him throughout the day. That being said, like for anybody watching who feels like, you know, I hear a lot like, oh, he has to be here forever. Only I can take care of him. He has to live with me forever. Like, it's okay to get a breather from this. I just feel like I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
meant to live with that forever. It's draining.
I don't think Jack could live with you forever. I don't think that
no.
I just don't, I think he's outgrown it. You can see it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's different
Very,
than Cooper. It's just different.
he's
And
very,
one of the moms I was with last night, Carrie, was really, and I thought this would be a good topic for you to go over, is having friends. And this one, the mom's friend's son doesn't have any friends. And like, he's in a college program, he lives at home, he wants friends. How does he get friends? You know, and I was telling her about Jack, and he's in this program, and he has, you know, like, he he's at this college program, he's doing well taking classes, but he cannot connect with anybody in a real friend way.
Mhm.
right. And if you ask him, like last night on the live, he says, oh, I have lots of friends. But there's no, now he has an apartment. He's never had anyone over. He doesn't understand how to create events that are not already created for him. Like, you know, the program has, they bowl, they do amazing things. But he would never think to himself, like, let me ask so and so to get a cup of hot chocolate with me down the street. And that's all available to him. He just doesn't think that way.
Hmm. Hmm.
I could see him thinking though, like if I was like getting Jack's brain, like, why would I want to do that? That
That's
doesn't make
exactly, are
sense
you
to me.
Jack? You've morphed into Jack after listening to
I
Why
Rose.
would
know.
we need they're role playing.
I mean,
But
that's
like with Cooper, this is how I describe Cooper in every presentation I give. Cooper was dropped into a world that doesn't make sense to him. So we're really working on going for walks. The last 3 days we went for a walk. This you will laugh about this. The first time to get him to go, and I'm telling you, he sat down, he rolled, he threw snowballs, he ate
I feel
snow.
like every few years this starts back up.
Yep, we have to get him walking. So
Amos does too.
I would say the walk is it's not very far, but there was an orange sign about halfway. So walk one, we walked to the orange sign, touched it, and came back. Day two, he wasn't taking one step farther than that orange sign
Orange
because
sign,
I
yeah.
set the precedent. Day three, I told him he would never go to the fire station and ride a fire truck if he didn't go all the way. And he did it. But so when I was explaining it to my subscribers, it was like, why would I walk? Why are we doing this? This is so stupid. We're outside. I'm not, he doesn't enjoy nature. He doesn't have it make sense to him. Do you feel like that with your kids? Like this,
Oh, yes.
it's like,
And Jack can articulate it, where
yeah.
Cooper and Amos cannot.
I'm telling you, I could bring Harbor and Winnie for 50 walks, and every one would be fun. We're looking for bears, we're dinosaur hunting, we're throwing rocks, and Cooper's like just like visibly annoyed. Like this is
And
My best success with Amos, Kate, has been when we walk and we get picked up when we get to the destination.
So Adrian, this is funny. We're the opposite. Cooper's
Oh.
best. So he is awful on the walk there. The second you go home. So I said, what
He
if
likes
Amy like dropped us somewhere and made us walk back?
Walk home. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
funny?
It's so hard to convince them of value when those autism brains see no value in certain things. I mean, I can think of a dozen things Jack thinks. He said one time to me, why is the F word a bad word?
Oh, I remember you saying
And I
that.
was like,
Harbor asks that every day. So
it's not wrong. Like, why do we
Yeah,
assign value
it's
to
not.
language? This is so funny. So Charlie and I were talking. Charlie went to visit him last year and wound up like Charlie drives and they were supposed to ski, but the place had a movie outing instead. And so Charlie's like, before I knew it, I was in the van with everybody, like the whole,
oh my God, Sawyer would love it. He would eat it up. I'm telling you.
but they thought Charlie was a part of this community. So they're like, here's your
Oh, I bet the kids probably loved Charlie being there too, didn't they?
love Charlie being there.
Yeah.
And Jack loved Charlie being there.
Yeah. I
One
bet.
outing, one visit. Charlie spent the night, came home the next day. Jack texted Charlie 3 days ago and said, do you remember when you met those people from my program? And Charlie said, yeah, I remember that a year ago. And Jack said, do you want to keep in touch with any of them?
Now?
Charlie and I were like, Charlie made such a great observation. He said, I think that's how he considers every person he meets, he needs to somehow keep in touch with. That's what he considers building
Friendship.
because Jack and another human in my house who's mowing on cereal at this moment lack what's called social inferencing, the idea that different people hold different contexts in your place, in your life. So if he met you once, he thinks, I have to text Kate every time I think of her. I have to text Adrian once a week to keep this relationship going.
So it's like he read about it in a
Oh.
book.
Oh,
Like,
everything.
right about
Jack learned how to laugh in a catalog. It's like,
You said, ha, 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 ha.
throw a head back.
And I don't think he laughed once on the live yesterday.
He hasn't laughed in 10 years. I remember the last time he laughed, a song came on the radio. I mean, I truly remember it, and I bet it was 6 years ago. We were in the car together and a song came on and I started to sing it kind of silly. I mean, I can remember the song. I won't torture
Was it
you
Baby
with
Got Back?
my rendition. No, it was like, call me Senorita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyway, Camila Cabello maybe. And I started to sing it silly. And it was like spontaneous laughter. And then he said, stop that.
Almost like it was a foreign thing happening to his body.
Like it erupted.
Stop that.
And then he wanted me to just stop whatever elicited joy. I was to stop down. What's
I
funny?
will say, Carrie, though, he
Very
looks
interesting.
uncomfortable in his skin.
Always.
Did you ever feel that way? And I wouldn't have described I just noticed like almost like he was maybe like in pain. I know he's not. He wasn't, but like was it answering the questions?
I mean, that was not video appearance. That's him through. If you get the chance to meet him, that is him all the time.
That
He's
is so interesting.
very twitchy, and his face makes these very dramatic expressions.
Yes.
And to the point where I'm working out yesterday, I knew he was fine. He's in the gym with me, and another person came over and said, "Is he okay?" Because he does. Charlie and I were talking about because it's so he digs at his eyes, constantly digs at his eyes. And the other gym member thought he was crying. I said, no, I haven't seen Jack cry in about 6 years. Like his emotional pendulum is sort of here where ours is here.
So Cooper makes very uncomfortable facial expressions too, and we don't know why. There's nothing wrong as far as we can tell, but like I'll have people say to me, they'll like wonder if he's in pain. And I don't think he is. He would tell, I think he could communicate if he was. I think there must be a thought that's uncomfortable or something
Oh,
inside. And so it's very unnatural.
I
Like in
almost
his
think of it as
face.
a tick. There's a lot of
I was just
Yeah.
thinking that, like, we have gone over different medicines when we've had some of those things. Like, is SSRIs for Amos, like Zoloft, they spawn terrible ticks for him.
Okay.
And so he doesn't do SSRIs anymore, which is pretty not terribly common. But the psychiatrist was like, let's try it. He was doing all this like breathing like stuff, and it went away.
well, that
Oh,
is
good,
something
good, good,
to look
good.
into.
So but it's tricky. Like, what's the autism? And now for Amos has this genetic disorder, and very few people have it. I mean, less than 50 that they know of in the world. And but one thing that this research study came out with was 33% of them have seizures.
Mm,
And so we're seeing a neurologist in April. And because his doctor was like, this is the information we want to make sure, because Amos does this kind of, he just does these things. And I'm like,
Yep.
is it a seizure? I don't know. We don't want him, so anyway,
Yep.
it's
yeah,
always tricky when you're juggling the medical aspect of things too,
right. But I like what you said, Kate, maybe an uncomfortable thought, because the other thing Jack does constantly is talks to himself. He's always got this inner dialogue that you can't quite catch.
But is it out loud?
Yes. Like he's speaking out loud,
Mhm.
Oh,
softly, and he gestures to himself a lot. And that we've been working on for years because it makes him look unhinged and he's giant.
well,
Six
I think
five.
if he was doing that, what I would worry about the most if I was you, Carrie, is like, what if he was doing that at the post office,
Exactly.
Mhm.
like in a line,
And
because and he's not upset outwardly, but like, yeah,
it's
And I think other people do that. Like, I've seen my children talk to themselves in the shower.
mm,
So I don't ever hear them talk to themselves walking around, but when they're in the shower, they're always in my shower. So I'm in and out of the bathroom and I hear them. It seems like they're talking to themselves.
my
Jamie has
oldest talks.
conversations with himself, and like I'll see him doing it because like he does this thing where he's like, yeah, like he's answering his own question.
Right.
He does it, and I call him out. I'm like, "What you talking about in there?"
Hey,
And he's like, "Oh,
boo.
I was just like figuring out what we're doing for hockey." And I'm like, "Clearly."
Yeah. My husband's done it too. That's funny. Yeah.
Jack does it like every night on the couch.
Yes.
Like
Oh
all
my
the
gosh, it's
people. Oh
I
my God.
know.
Joe's in the middle of like a big deal, like a big business deal. And it went a little rocky yesterday. And he came home. Before we got on, we talked about how do we not ride the nervous systems of the people we live with,
This is my
particularly
biggest challenge in life.
our husbands. And it was a choice last night. He's on the couch and it's not about me. He's not mad at me, but he's like assaulting me with this explanation of what's going wrong. And then the bank. And I said to the bank, wah, wah, wah. And I'm like, all I'm trying to do is watch The White Lotus and relax. Like, I don't want this noise. And so finally I was like, that just all sounds so tough. Let me know how I can plug in if I can do it for you.
Can I ask a super honest question that I have like typed to friends and then deleted and thought about sharing and not shared because I don't want judgment? What do you do when you think there's an aspect of your partner's parenting that is just so wrong? Now, Jamie's a wonderful dad. I want to be clear.
Yeah.
He is. I'm not concerned about anything, but like he will like talk harshly or like name call, and then like Sawyer will do it, and then he's like, Sawyer, you can't talk like that. And I'm like, oh.
Mhm.
And so I think that's the hardest part about parenting is like I don't want to parent my husband, but I was like, dude, what if Harbor went to school and like called his classmate an idiot? Like he's gonna be in big trouble.
Right.
So it's like it's hard to parent your spouse. Do you guys ever feel that way?
Uh, yes.
Yeah. We've had trouble lately. I don't know, in the last couple years with my husband using bad language
So that's ours.
around the children.
That's
But
our
I
it's
think
new.
he's doing it to, like, it's like camaraderie a little bit with these teenage boys. And I said to him this weekend, and I said to you, I always do better to talk about something ahead of time before people are, elevated, as Carrie's word, and then people are mad. But I mean, I, I do not like, you do not need to go low. Like, these are college students and they look up to you. I never remember my dad saying a cuss word in front of me ever. Like, he was always the adult. Like,
Yeah.
it bugs me. But I think it's coming from this weird place of like trying to connect. I don't know.
That fraternity feel, kind of like,
Yeah, we had 6 fraternity boys at our house for the weekend.
yeah.
So I just noticed it like, oh, those effort, just being cool kind of.
I
Like
would
what
label
I'll
that
say, oh, go ahead, Karen.
not sexy behavior, NSB.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, like what I always, and maybe this is wrong, is like I'll try to bring it back and I'll be like, now, if Harper said that to a peer in
uh,
kindergarten, Principal Hand would take him
Call
to
us.
the office. Yeah. And so, like, I don't know if that works, but it's just like a 6-year-old doesn't know what setting he can use
Right.
those words in. So Harper's new
Right.
thing is like, my favorite word is ASS. He's like so proud, or shh, it. Like he's like, and if he spells it, it's not a swear. Like I'm at this 6-year-old boy life, but I know where it's coming from. Who taught you that word? Dad. And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know how to,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about that. We had a swear jar, and then Sawyer just took all the money.
Oh,
That was smart.
Joe is actually, I'm more likely to swear than Joe. Joe never swears, and he doesn't like swearing. He works with a guy who swears constantly, and it really bothers him.
I don't like it either. It just seems so yuck.
It's
And
ugly.
I swear,
I do too.
but not in
Um,
front of the children, typically.
I mean, I'd have to get really ratcheted up over
Yeah.
Nutella knives in the sink. That could
Right.
elicit a swear word out of me. But Kate and I were talking about this yesterday because we went out to dinner. First of all, my husband sprang on me last Thursday. Hey, we got invited to dinner tomorrow night. And I was like, it's like 2 degrees here. I don't like to really go out. It was 8 o'clock. Our reservation.
Oh, I mean, I'm into bed at 8 o'clock.
Oh
And it was
gosh.
40 minutes away. Like, I was really resisting this, but I thought it doesn't take a lot to make Joe happy. And this really made him happy.
Mhm.
He loves this couple. They're a great couple. We get there. The guys each had a couple drinks, no big deal. The other guy latched on to something about her family dynamic and would not let it go. I mean, it was 10 minutes of, can you believe her brother and that and that and that? The whole time she's like, I've had enough. Stop, stop.
Uh,
And we're just like, I'm just like along for this marital ride.
Popcorn, like eating it.
And then later at home, Joe brought it up like, oh, I just can't believe he wouldn't drop that. I've had so many instances where I'm trying to pull him back from some abyss and he cannot take in information from me. And so I was like, yeah, how did that look? That didn't look so good,
It's not a
did
good
it?
look.
He was like, oh, I've never done that. Okay.
Mhm.
They can't
Yes.
see themselves.
You can tell when someone's making, and I think it does happen in marriages, like making a joke at someone's expense, like about their family or a quirkiness or something. And like you can tell when the other person's like, cut.
Oh, she was
Enough.
all out like grabbing his arm, like, I've had enough, move on. But Joe likes it. Like, this guy could not rein himself back in.
Oh, I've been there. It's so awkward.
I've been
I
there.
I was at a dinner party and a guy was doing that to his wife, and of course had to intercede. So we were sitting around we were talking about Lent. It was before Lent. What are you going to give up for Lent? And he had been just, the wife doesn't do this right. She doesn't do that. Why doesn't she do what somebody else does? And then everybody was like, we're giving up alcohol, or I'm giving up chocolate. And he was like, I'm not giving up anything. And he's like a big surgeon, guy. And I said, I know what you could give up. And he was like, what? I was like, you could give up talking.
Oh
And he
my
goes, well, I
gosh.
have to talk at work. I said, I just mean at home. No more talking. And the wife, like, basically TT'd on herself. She was laughing so hard. It was like she was so thrilled that someone, which is kind of what my children sometimes do to my husband, like, Dad, before you start, we already know that you tackled Deion Sanders, in 1977 in the third quarter. You know, like it just put a
To win the
stop to it.
game. To win the game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like cut it. Anyway, it was really, I love that she was like, thank you for seeing me. You know, I mean, I really think anyway, it was funny. I thought it was
We all
funny.
have those moments, but that is pretty, I just said, you know, we tried to sort of distract him, but this guy
Change the conversation.
bent on.
I just think marriage and parenting, like I've been feeling it more lately, is just like so isolating. And I think, I don't know if it's the nature of social media right now and what we do, or that my friends are in different stages, but you know, my daughter's having a hard time potty training, and I'm not talking at all about that because there's so much judgment. Or did you try this?
Oh,
Yes, we've tried. Like, and so where I struggle is when I feel isolated with a problem. If I can share it, I'm navigating it pretty well. So autism got a lot easier for me when I could start talking about it. But when I was like, you know, everyone else had perfect lives. I'm joking, and I just had this thing. So I think that's why we are doing these videos, right? It's like, do not feel alone with your Nutella knives and your, you know,
well,
awful husband.
and then the hard doesn't own you once you say it out loud. You know, I'll like disclose something or we were having some really hard drop off mornings of, you know, having to get a teacher to help me get Amos out of the car. I mean, just terrible. But then it's like I could cry and be upset and then I recover,
100%. It's not
you know.
festering. It's not
Yeah,
festering.
yeah, not festering. Anyway.
I mean, nobody likes to feel alone in all of this, and yet everything is so universal. I mean, before we hopped on, for people watching, like I mentioned that I had to stop buying Nutella, and Kate's like, I had to stop buying Nutella
Jamie
because,
said no more in the house because it was everywhere. It would get like on their fingers, on the cupboards,
and
like, or on the dish towels. Like,
I have teenagers, so now who have jobs and cars, so they will just get themselves into their vehicles and go buy their tub of Nutella, and I'm right back where I started.
well, the other thing we said is, so we buy like personal size bags of chips. I think Adrian said this. We buy
Yeah.
them for lunches and stuff. And like Sawyer will go in and grab 4 bags.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and then I think sometimes well, I know he is. He's shoving them like under his bed when they're done.
Oh, that used to be I think Carrie said
Oh.
her kids never ate in their rooms. I never like told them to or let them. They just did it, you know, while I was doing something else. And then you would go in their room and there'd be all this food under the bed.
We
And
did.
dishes. Why are
We
there so many
didn't get that.
glasses?
I mean, I think that's very common. They didn't really, yeah, we didn't, I don't know why. It's not like a great parenting hack on my end. They just never, but my daughter, like, they'll bring cups of water up for bed. My daughter's very into Diet Pepsi right now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like a Diet Coke. For my
Blair
daughter.
likes Dr. Pepper. Anyway.
I
So does
used to get
Sawyer.
soda, but it's new, and so I'll find like a can of that upstairs. No, probably the most egregious like food issue is that she brings lunch every day, and then the Tupperware will sit in her backpack.
Oh yeah, that's us too.
Oh, I could leave that till the next. I like pulled it out from last spring when I was opening the backpack the first day of school.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's do quick book stuff, and then we're going to do, if we have time, we'll do a 10-minute subscriber thing. We'll see. But 21 days. Can you believe it? That
Yay!
were we writing it a year ago? Had we started writing? Yes.
I blocked it out.
I was wondering that same thing. Like when Carrie, when you talked to Jennifer and then
We
you
were
called
writing
me
last year. Yes.
and said we should write a book, and then you said you convinced Adrian.
I did.
And then I was the
Oh,
one.
now the truth comes out.
Oh,
The
yeah, I
plot
had to give- yeah.
You've
thickens.
always been upfront. You're more persuasive than I am.
I had to get Adrian on board. And I mean, I'm
We
telling you, the
started
first,
writing in January last
We
year.
started in January.
and just for anyone, the first time I told Adrian, she told me no.
Hard no. And what did I tell you to use as a strategy? And did you
This
use?
is revolting.
remember?
The fact that you all have conspired against me. I feel like Jack.
That is not the first or last time. So FYI.
It's happening right now.
Do you remember what I said, how to get her on board? You might not remember. I said, tell her we'll ask somebody else.
Oh no, I thought you said tell her she'll get famous or something, or she'll get on the Today
Well, I
Show.
couldn't guarantee that, but we came up with a list of, you know.
You did not tell me you were going to ask anybody else. That would have just pissed me off.
I know. People in our
We call them Adrian. It's like another person. A
like
ghostwriter.
another influencer kind of in our universe. I could think of 3 right now that we could have asked that you would have been so outraged.
We'll put Carrie Magro on here in a wig. Right.
I mean, this is devastating to me.
That's why you have to be part of the sequel. Autism Out Loud Part 2. Do we have it in us? I don't know.
I don't know.
Right. But Kate, your event is coming up. And we're all going to Minnesota. I cannot wait.
So we'll put links in the comments.
Yep.
So we have a very big event coming up March 31st in Stillwater, Minnesota. And many people are coming in for it. It's a beautiful, adorable, quaint little town with lots of shopping and food and restaurants. So come to that event. I'll share tickets, and then you can also, if you can't come though, you can get a signed copy from the same bookstore. So I'll share that too. And it's the same price as Amazon. So if you're thinking about ordering, please order from this bookstore because it helps them out so much.
And Joe will be accompanying us to that.
I don't have a sitter, so Jamie has a ticket, but I don't know if he's coming.
Well, we could leave Joe behind to babysit.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Oh, that would be so good.
Joe's meeting me Saturday night. We get in. He's coming in from Austin, so
Oh,
but I'm excited to shop and stuff. Like you have a lot of shopping.
I think I come Sunday. Where am I staying, Kate? Well, we can talk about that later. I know I need to get myself organized for that.
Yeah, we booked a hotel. So that's exciting. And then we have some stuff in New York we're pulling together. And
Yes.
then the next event after Minnesota is Buffalo. Buffalo people. Check out the website. We'll put that on the comments too, but that's shaping up to be kind of a fun. I just asked
How many are on our book launch team?
Oh, I just looked. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Because we're
Okay.
closed. Okay, I just looked. It was impressive. Hold on.
Okay.
312.
Oh my
That is so good.
That is so good.
I know.
That's really exciting.
Yesterday, did you, I would like to give myself a teensy pat. Did you see the post I put up yesterday?
No. On Tails?
Yeah, I said, maybe your life is easy. Maybe you don't have autism.
Oh, I did.
Maybe you're, just floating around in the world. Maybe you don't have a page. Maybe you're just a good friend of one of the authors and you would like to support them.
Oh, look
Oh,
at
that's a
little
great picture.
Venus.
Because the three of us will often say, nothing against our friends, but it's like, well, they're our friends. We're not gonna get involved. And I'm like, you know what? No, darn it. You people are gonna support us.
So here's what I'll say on that exact topic. So I'm having this book launch party. We are,
Yeah.
20 minutes from my house. I had to text all my friends. And once I did, I sent out 50 texts. They all got tickets. It's like they must not think it's for them because it has about autism, but
I
that
think
doesn't
they feel
matter.
like voyeurs. That's
Like
why
what?
my crowd, they're not subscribers. They're like, I feel like a voyeur,
I don't know what that word means.
Oh, like
Like-
observing your private life.
like a peeping Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, come celebrate with us. You don't need autism. We just
Right.
support us.
Right. Yeah, that's what I said. I said, just support me in what we're doing to try to make the world better. That's it. Anyway.
What I find in my world, and I always say I'm a dot, not a circle in terms of social. Like I have a very small friend group. I'm not like a big circle of like tons of people in my world. They perceive writing a book to be one of the hardest things to do. And so they sort of keep it at arm's length. Like there's no way I could be part of that world.
Mm.
Well, what I don't get, and I'm saying this truthfully and honestly, I don't think many of my closest friends or family have pre-ordered. I can say that with confidence.
Yeah.
Well,
I bet none of my aunts and uncles have pre-ordered my book. Why? If someone from my high school and I have a small class, like let's just say if I found out one of the 100 kids in my class wrote a book, I'd order it
yeah,
Just to see if I was in it.
just to see if I was in it.
that might be a worthwhile post just in itself of like a letter to your community.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, but I have told Adrian and Carrie this, and Carrie, it's like you think that everyone's gonna buy a copy, but they're not.
But do you feel this? You guys are much bigger than I am. But even when I go into my community and kind of interface with people, there is like a divide, I think, because they see me online, but they don't want to admit that they maybe follow or watch.
100%.
But they
Not
don't know
one
where to
person.
start. It's a very interesting dynamic. And I notice it truly all the time.
So I bring up autism really
Me too.
seamlessly now. I'm very comfortable. I wasn't always that way. So at Sawyer's hockey stuff, I'll bring up autism all the time. No one will ever bite or start a conversation or even comment on it, but then I'll see them on my videos.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Or it's harder too when I go in with Jack, because like yesterday somebody was like, so you like to bake a lot? And he's like, that 30-second like delay of human interaction where he's like, well, not all the time.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
What we
so-
do is it's weird. It's a weird thing. So, all right,
Buy a book.
everybody,
Buy a book.
pre-order. And we're picking up momentum for sure. We're gonna post this 8 o'clock. This is our new television show, if you will.
Nutella.
Nutella.
New television show.
Puns. Funny.
Okay, I'll do a big story. I'll push over everyone over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I
Yep,
gotta
I'll
figure out
share.
how to stop recording. Stop video? No. You guys.
I wonder if
Wait.
Adrian has to stop it because she started it.
Oh, let me try. Stop video.
No,
Perfect.
that's just your video.
Oh, shit. Okay, shoot. Hold on.
I can always trim this.
Curse
but
word.
oh, here.
Cancel.
People like